know if you can hear me, but basically today is, I think, the 13th. I'm not sure what's today's date, but I don't have a washing machine yet in my studio, and I don't have money to buy one right now. So um, basically, my dirty laundry is just like adding up and adding up and adding up and just piling up. So I'm like, you know what? I don't have a choice. I'll just go to Jerusalem and do my laundry at the laundromat. Problem is, at the laundromat, it's like really, how do you say, it's like all different kind of freaks over there. You have to always like stress out about the machines, because everybody's trying to use the machines before you. It's just a schlep and an annoyance. So when I get the money, I'll buy a washing machine, but until then. Anyway, so I go to this place in the center to do the laundry, and I put my stuff in the machine, and while I'm sitting there waiting for it to get done, this guy, he says he's from Florida, but he starts talking to me. Good looking guy, in his own right, but he's definitely, you can see, he definitely has like a alcohol problem, an addiction problem, and he starts talking to me about philosophy. He's like, is it okay if I talk to you? He's trying to be like polite, but he wants to make conversation. So I'm like, oh no, another freak wants to talk to me. I'm like being polite. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I started talking to him. And he's like, what's the purpose of life? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, isn't it to get married and have children, to continue on the life? And I'm just like, different strokes for different folks. And he starts telling me all his problems, how he's homeless and he's living in like a place for like homeless people, and he has his job like in security, but I don't know what kind of job it is because he definitely has no money, and he was like very drunk, but like he was holding himself well. I told him, I said, you're holding yourself well, you're doing a good job, but I told him that I can tell he's drunk and he needs to clean up his act. Because like, he's like, yeah, I want a girlfriend, blah, 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 and a family. And I said, look, no girl's going to want a guy that can't take care of himself or a family. Like, you need to clean yourself up. I said, if I could do it, you can. Clean yourself up. Like, okay, look, if he has a drinking problem, I should have told him, like, everything in moderation, You want to have a sip of alcohol, you take a sip, but you don't overdrink. But he's like, he wants to hang out with me again, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't end up giving him my number, and I didn't take his number because it was just, how do you say, he looks like a decent guy, like very sweetheart, like good looking, sweetheart, sensitive soul, Like all the sensitive souls, they all have, not all of them, but most of them have like problems getting their act together, He's like, yeah, I used to work in technology, blah, blah, blah. He's like, thank you so much for talking to me. And then he starts telling me, like, these days I can't just walk up to a girl and tell her, try to, like, strike up a conversation, because then, I'll be known as, like, the guy who's sexual harassment, So he's like, how am I supposed to meet a beautiful girl? And I'm like, go to a bar, meet through friends, maybe. And then he's like, you're beautiful. And I was just like, oh, thank you very much, And he's like, you don't mind talking to me? I'm like, well, I'm just talking to you because, I'm just talking to you because, whatever, you start talking to me, so, like, I'm an open person, maybe too open. And he's like, yeah, you're really chill, I love to hang out with you, blah, blah, blah. And I go inside the laundromat to take my clothes out of the dryer, because I was like, let me get the hell out of here, because this place is full of freaks and drunks. I'm not trying to call the guy a drunk, but he definitely has a problem, and it's not pleasant always to be around somebody who's woozy and, even though I'm guilty of it myself sometimes. But I feel like some people drink to excess, and that was his problem. And I think it's because he's a miserable person and he has no friends, no family, no home, no nothing, not even a job. So, what's he supposed to do? So, he's still drinking his beer, and I go to get my laundry stuff, even though my stuff is not exactly the most, well, even though it's not exactly the most dry. But I'm like, let me get the hell out of here. I just dumped my stuff in the laundry, in the suitcase. And, here's the bus. Let's see if I can get the bus. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the bus. I'm trying to get on here because there's like a big line here. 1 second. It's very heavy. Okay. תודה רבה. תודה רבה.
It's my pleasure. It's indeed my pleasure.
Thank you. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Have a lot of place.
I'll put it over there. Okay. Anyway. Alright, so so I'm on the bus, yeah. So I took all my laundry and dumped it in the suitcase here. How do I turn it around? I don't know if I can turn it around. And here's the suitcase. And I come out of the laundromat and I see he's all thrown up. He's sitting on the floor. And he's all thrown up on himself, And normally, like you see a person like that, you're like disgusted, because they have like throw up everywhere. But I felt more sorry for him, I guess also because I'm very experienced with children and special needs people and autistic people. So I'm used to taking care of those kind of people, so I felt more compassion for him, I'm like, okay, there's nothing I can do for this guy because he's drunk, he's threw it up on himself, and what am I supposed to do, I told him to go home and I gave him a clean towel that I just washed. I said, here, take it. He didn't want to take it, but I said, just take it. And he took it and he wiped himself up. And I told him to go home. And after meeting that guy, I felt so bad, Like, just really sad. That there's people in the world that are suffering so much, That they drink themselves till they can't take it anymore, And the fact that he's just so lonely and he wants a family and his life is so messed up, It just made me feel lucky that I have the support I have and the family I have. And now when I just hope he gets his act together and I hope God helps him, So it just kind of, I don't know why, it just made me sad, Anyway, so that's the story of my trip to the laundromat. I really need to get a washing machine so that I don't need to experience all these weird experiences wherever I go. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.